Всем привет, это Вильям Плея, и мы буквально только что недавно разобрались с кучей ужасных тераморфов прямо в Нью-Атлантисе, в самом сердце вообще объединенных колоний. И президент Абелла у нас в долгу.
Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today, as well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Согласен, спасибо.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, after today's events, the cabinet has decided to revisit its previous decision. We will be supporting your collection of the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
Так. Если вы уверены, что это самый разумный вариант действий.
We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Ну, конечно, за гражданство-то, конечно. Можете на меня рассчитывать.
I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
9600 кредитов, отлично.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan. All you need to concern yourself with right now is collecting that data.
Президент. С кем-то можно еще побеседовать? Ты просто чиновник.
My officers were unprepared.
You've got the cabinet's full backing to prevent more attacks. Understand?
Диван. С дивана можно поговорить.
I'll coordinate putting the data to good use with the cabinet. It's quite the
Ясно, короче, больше ни с кем нельзя поговорить, кроме...
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Кроме... Вот нее. О, инструкция от новых галактик. Уменьшает количество топлива, необходимого для гравитационного прыжка, на 1%. Почему на 1 всего? Что за... Элизабет Макентайр.
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also told the President wants us to get you into the Armistice archives ASAP. So, we've got no time to waste. You know what the archives are, correct?
Они являются хранилищами всех запрещенных данных по войне с колониями.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. but that's a lot easier said than done.
Так. Можно подумать, что после нападения на космопорт они будут взывать о
I
помощи.
couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate. And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative. But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Рэдклифф of Freestar or Ambassador Balmor of House Varun?
Давай с посла Рэдклифф и Содружества Свободных Звёзд.
The good Ambassador Рэдклифф. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Мой навык дипломата. Похоже, нам нужны рычаги влияния на посла Рэдклифф.
Said like you've done this before. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Это вся необходимая мне на данный момент информация по послу Рэдклифф.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. Oh, and I want you to have these. Someone with diplomatic skills like yours should know how to put classified intel to use. Or know when to grease a few palms.
Вместо пальм, конечно, она имела в виду руки. Palm — это ладонь и рука. Ой, господи, ладонь и пальма одновременно. А теперь о после Балморе из дома Варун.
Ambassador Balmor's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmor stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Я уверен, что с ним можно договориться. Дом Варун — люди такие же, как и мы.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmor is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Я разыщу его.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Рэдклифф. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Ну что ж. У меня впереди интересный, но непростой квест.
Okay. Hello.
Я даже не знаю. Салфетки парят в воздухе, с ума сойти. Вот это будущее, которого мы так долго ждали. Не так ли?
Hello.
Что это тут нарисовано, интересно? Такое странное. Ну что ж. Такие друзья. Давайте посмотрим. Куда мы посмотрим? Не знаю, куда мы посмотрим. Сейчас что-нибудь придумаем. Вестибюль. Поехали в вестибюль.
Captain, can I help you?
Да нет, ничем ты мне не можешь помочь. Так, и мне надо вон туда. Ну что ж. Впереди у меня миссия по убеждению посла Рэдклифф. Я надеюсь, мне поможет то, что я и сам в какой-то степени дипломат. А вот Freestar Collective Embassy. А здесь что? Афелион Реалти.
Never a better time than right now to settle
Зора
down and make
Сангвини.
New Atlantis home. If you're a citizen, of course. Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here to help with whatever you may need. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down, or move up in the world, or just window shopping?
Мне бы хотелось найти место для проживания в Новой Атлантиде.
I don't blame you. It's a lovely city. The crown jewel of the UC. I'm here if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to look at properties.
Я хотел бы узнать о том, что у вас есть на продажу.
Okay, let me just pull up your data. Oh, I'm sorry, but you're not a United Colony citizen. I'm afraid property ownership here in New Atlantis isn't available to you.
Ну и ладно.
If you take the exciting step of becoming a citizen, we'll be here for you.
Ясно.
Stop by anytime.
К ней можно будет вернуться потом, когда мне за мою верную службу дадут гражданство. Уверен, что так оно и будет. О, а вон и архивы. Но мне надо сначала вон туда. Даже не помню, возможно, я даже и в посольство-то это не заходил ни разу. Потому что тут так много всего, я 100% что-то, да, мог пропустить. О, как интересно. Что если подняться наверх? Какой потрясающий вид.
You are a visitor? You're good. Proceed inside.
Ну что ж, погнали. Посольство Содружества Свободных Звёзд. Какой у тебя прикольный. Это же кучер, да?
That means you.
А что, нельзя заниматься кражей здесь? Хм, интересно. Тяжелые времена. Да, тяжелые. Вентиляция заблокирована. Куда тут только нельзя зарулить, да? Тоже заблокировано. Хотя можно разблокировать, но за это можно получить. Поэтому я не буду пытаться. Ладно. О, тут еще можно спуститься вниз или подняться наверх. Или пройти сюда. Ладно, попробую с постом. Чисел. А мы не можем с тобой пообщаться? Нет? Я могу сказать послу Рэдклифф, что мы... что я чисел ему помог.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
This building is Freestar sovereign territory. So in here, we're the law.
Чувак.
That woman is an absolute... Oh, sorry.
По-любому у него есть на нее этот...
You're the Vanguard captain, right?
Компромат.
You know, I was about to board the Nat to the spaceport when the alarm triggered. Sounds like I got real lucky. And like I've got you to thank for things not being a lot uglier.
Именно. Вам действительно повезло, там была зона боевых действий.
Wow, then you have my earnest thanks. But look, they said you were coming here on official business. The ambassador likes to handle all that personally, even if she does have trained diplomats here to help her. And I don't want to get shipped back to Aquila City, so you should probably go speak to her.
Похоже, вы могли бы делать больше, гораздо больше. Например, работать со мной.
You want to work with me? Why don't we talk somewhere a bit more private?
Вот. Сейчас мы что-нибудь что-нибудь порешаем. Я уверен, с этим чуваком можно договориться. Так. Ну что?
So you want me to work with you? But why now? Why me?
Нам нужна помощь в предотвращении новых атак терраморфа, и мы не ожидаем поддержки посла.
No, I think that's a pretty safe assumption. And no other city should have to go through what happened here. So then, what would you need from me?
Мне нужно, чтобы вы достали для меня код доступа к архиву посла.
Okay, first you need her bio key, and that thing doesn't leave her side. Better chance of splitting the atom with a spoon than me getting that from her.
Мне нужно получить доступ в ее каюту, не будучи замеченным.
Her quarters. Huh. Well, that's doable. And you and the UC will be providing me with what for my services?
Дипломат. Управление по межзвездным делам объединенных колоний переведет вам из своего фонда вознаграждения за вербовку в размере 4000.
That much. Okay. You have a deal? Okay, so there's a utility corridor that leads to the ambassador's quarters, which you can access through the main conference room. Here, the key. Whatever you do, don't let the guards see you entering or exiting the utility section, or you're gonna be in serious hot water. I'll keep an ear out for more instructions from the UC.
Угу. Отлично. Отлично. Что ж, мы завербовали чувака, который, в принципе, довольно искренний, хочет помочь всем. Жаль только, что деньги за это просит. Посол Эванжелина Рэдклифф.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
Так. Капитан Уильям, авангард Объединенных Колоний. Нам с вами нужно поговорить, посол.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
Вы должны помочь нам, иначе все новые смерти будут на вашей совести.
Excuse me. A less level-headed person might think that was a threat, Captain. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours and go?
Переубедить. Пожалуйста, посол, просто послушайте, что я хочу сказать.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood.
Убеждение.
I'm listening.
Давайте попробуем. Ух ты, ёшки-макарёшки. Вы были солдатом, ваша работа заключалась в том, чтобы защищать. И именно это мы намерены сделать с помощью этих данных.
I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility.
Вы готовы... Я буду по маленькие повышать. Сколькими жизнями вы готовы здесь рисковать, потому что у вас есть неприязнь к объединенным колониям?
You think this is about a grudge? This is about safety, and that's not something I take lightly.
На карту поставлены жизни людей. Нет, попробую вот эту. Я уже дважды видел, насколько серьезными могут быть эти атаки. Я не хочу видеть третью.
No one does, Captain. The only question is how to do it.
Короче, ей не надо давить на жалость. Каждая минута, которую мы тратим на спор, это время, не потраченное на решение проблемы тераморфов.
Working on borrowed time, aren't we? Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks. So, do we have an agreement?
Да, я думаю, что, в принципе, у нее справедливые требования, согласен.
Excellent. Follow me.
Капец, я мастер убеждения. Следуйте за послом. Суккулент. О, пошли вниз. Чувак еще здесь? А, чувак еще здесь. О, прикольно.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there.
Так.
Here, I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. Two unlikely allies, I guess.
Отлично. Я потрясающий. Я разрулил эту ситуацию. Просто самым наилучшим образом.
Sounds like it was that.
О, у меня есть ключ доступа к коммуникациям Содружества. Ты чё, чувак?
Sorry, everyone's a little.
Чё с ним? С ума сошел. Так, ладно, валим отсюда, пока по мне стрелять не начали эти несдержанные охранники. Что ж, я очень круто раскидался с послом Рэдклифф, и теперь мне надо будет... Я понял, Я понял, короче, самое главное не пытаться давить ей на жалость. Самое главное пытаться апеллировать к другим чувствам, короче. Вот. Хранитель Аквилус? Кто из вас хранитель Аквилус?
I may not always have the perfect advice for people, but I try to just be here for them. I think that's what they really need more than anything else. Were you seeking worldly wisdom or just a friendly ear?
Офигеть. Я просто проходил мимо, думал, это граждане, а тут у всех имена есть. Я ни к чему не стремлюсь.
Are you sure about that? I think we're all looking for something, even if we're not aware of it. I could be wrong, of course, wouldn't be the first time, but if you find you're desiring something more, perhaps the church can be of service. You might give something of our writings a read, see what you think. I'd recommend starting with Among the Grab Jumps. I'm sure there's a copy lying about somewhere. And if you'd like, we could have a little chat afterwards. I'll certainly be here for it, or any other reason you might need me.
Я уверен, что когда-то так и было, но я что-то не помню.
Understandable. The things I've forgotten over time. Well, you could fill more than a few books. As I said, I'm sure there's a copy somewhere. Might jog your memory. And it would give us an opportunity to discuss the ideas, which I would thoroughly enjoy. If you do read it, you know where to find me.
Ясно. Екатерина.
Has seen so much.
Маркус.
Oh, hi there. I'm Marcus Lestari. Are you interested in the Sanctum Universum?
Какое-то у него лицо странное. Конечно, наверное, мне интересно.
Glad to hear it. It's an exciting time for the church. We're growing every day, and we've been getting more interested visitors lately, too. Actually, we've had a few visitors come by recently, but they have yet to come visit us again. This strikes me as a good opportunity. I'm wondering, would you like to go check in with those visitors and welcome them back to our church? Maybe all they need is just another invitation. And don't worry, I'll pay for your effort, of course.
Да, конечно, я сделаю это.
Excellent. Their names were Tony, Evie, and Johan. When you check in with them, give them one of these slates. It's just a little something welcoming them back, if they're interested. If you want, take some time to talk with them, get to know them and why they were interested in the Sanctum Universum. In any case, when you're done, come back to me and I'll give you your payment.
Отлично.
There are worse ways to spend the day.
Andreas.
Have you ever heard one of his sermons? They're really... Even just Aquilus has helped me through some tough times lately.
Ясно. Так, ну я все еще сосредоточен на вот этом задании. Не собираюсь от него отклоняться. Катюх.
Are you a member? Keeper Aquilus seems to know what he's talking about.
Так, о, тут стемнело. Иногда тут темнеет все-таки. Хотя я уверен, что здесь не солнечное время, а какое-то свое. Так. Вот, ну и я отправлюсь, конечно же, в посольство, но это будет уже в следующей серии. Посольство дома Варун. А на этом всем спасибо и всем пока.